couple of months ago, I did a product unboxing of the Guinever sanding system, and it's made by King Arthur Tools. So I'm not, and at that time I said I'd do a review after I've used it a little while. So I've done a couple of projects, and I don't think I'm going to get any different attitude about it than I already have. So I thought I'd go ahead and try to do a small review, a short review. Unfortunately, my limitations on reviews, especially on this thing, is that I've never used another one to compare it to. So this is the only one of these rotary sander things like this, systems like this, that I've ever used. So all I can tell you is how I like this one. I can't compare this one to another one. It's just what I found about this one. Now, for those of you that want to stick around for the whole thing, it boils down to the fact that, yeah, I like it and I would recommend it and I would buy it again. Now, you can go and go somewhere else and watch something else, because and I know how it is on these reviews. You sit around and you watch, and some things are good and some things are bad. Then you may not want to watch the whole thing. So now, as far as tools are concerned, I have my philosophy, if you will, on tools is they either have to facilitate a project or make a project better on their own. And by that I mean this tool would have to either do something that I have previously not been able to do on something else that makes the project better because of what it does. Or this tool can do something that I now do one way, that by using this tool, it makes it faster, more expedient for me to do that same project. That's all I ask of a tool. Either be better at something or be faster at something, sort of. It's like, okay, sandpaper is really the tool, and we know what sandpaper does. It smooths and it shapes. Now, can this tool take that sandpaper and make it better or not? That's where we're at. But let me go back and just briefly go over what we have here, and what I used and didn't use, and what I can do a review on. I bought this, like I said, about a month ago, 2 months ago, maybe longer now, but anyway, I bought it a while back, used it on a couple of projects. But I will say this, I paid like $400 and some odd for this. I bought it directly from King Arthur Tools. Didn't go online, didn't get, so the pricing is, maybe you can find it better somewhere else. But I got all of this at one time. Now that I've gone through a couple of projects, for me personally, I would not get this thing, and it's only not because this is a bad thing. This is because I just won't use it. It's the thing that goes around this. It's a dust collecting type of thing. You wrap this whole, you put this thing around it somehow, and it sucks the dust away. And yeah, it is a dusty process using this, but I didn't use it, so I can't review it. It may be the greatest thing ever. I didn't use it. I probably won't ever use it because it's just the way I am. And I got this, which is a polishing kit. I'm not quite sure why I got it, but it sounded like a good idea at the time. So I didn't use this, so I can't review this. However, not that much different from anything else except the kind of stuff that you put on the these blow up sander holder things. So I can't review this. So those are out of the review. What I can review is the motor and the rotary tool that goes with the, it comes separate but is used on the motor, which is this. And this is the initial kit that you get. And I'd like to say a few words about that. And I bought an extra accessory for this, which is the long sandpaper holder here that you blow up. And I recommend many of these, or as many of these as you can get, and in as very varied sizes as you can get. And there aren't that many, but there are some. All right, so to start with, let's start off with the actual motor itself. I like the way it looks. I like its size. I had problem. It's light, so it moves around too easy when you're sanding. It lifts up. So the best thing you can do is attach this to some sort of base. I didn't do that. It still worked pretty well for me, but in order to get a base, you want it. I would think you would want it pretty small and sturdy, because it's one of the problems I had is when I'm sanding, and if it's a long thing, and if it's on a table, you run into it, run into the tabletop, so you have to modify your sanding technique to whatever it's setting on. So I'd always move it over to the edge of the table, and then I had a lot of space, but then you have to keep moving around. All I'm saying is attach it to something that's narrow so that you can have space below the rotary parts, so you can sand long, large pieces. Now, I use this primarily for intarsia. There aren't a lot of giant pieces with that, so it works pretty well for me just setting it around, and I can put it out of the way. But the motor itself, what I really like, it's not plugged in. Let me plug it in for a minute here. What I really like about it to start with is how quiet it is. And I like quiet. I have an air compressor that's a California air compressor, and I bought it specifically because it is quiet. And I recommend those too. And there's a review out there of my review of the California air compressor. And again, I bought it because it was quiet, and it's a small one for this shop. But back to this, I'm going to just turn it on. You can hear how quiet it is, and I like that. Whoa, that came off. All right. I had this loose so I could pull it off later, but I had it too loose, obviously. But as you can tell, there's not much sound to this. So I like that. I don't know if it's a drawback or not, but even literally on the motor itself, it has a warning that you're not supposed to use this thing longer than 15 minutes at one time, running 15 minutes, and you're supposed to turn it off for 15 minutes, and and it does get hot, it does get warm if you run it very long. So bear that in mind, and that's not a complaint about it, really. I don't usually sand forever, just stand here and sand like that, so turning it off and on is not a big deal. But it is something that might be an issue for someone. Now, the tools that it comes with are these spindles. One of them, I'm going to show you on here. You get this spindle, which is this thing, and then you get a round one, which is this, and they're all rubber and soft. You can see. So you get the two, you get the pump, you get varieties of sandpaper that goes over them, the coarse to fine grit. I don't exactly know what the numbers are, but you can buy extras of those. All right. So that being said, now it's quiet. And it works very well. This thing was excellent. You just plug this into here, and there's only one side that you can use it on because of the rotation. So you plug it into here. It's a little bit stiff. The cord's a little stiff, and you got to be careful, because if you're working around, I don't know if you can see this or not, but if you get close to the other side, depending on what you have on there, you can eat into your cord. And I did that a couple of times, or once maybe, but it's got a couple of spots here. So I don't like that. And this one's pretty deep, and it doesn't take long for that to occur just by dragging it around. So you have to be careful with that, or take this off And then you have to always be careful of anything that's spinning that you're not really using, because you know, you don't pay close enough attention and you're going to get wrapped up in it. So this I like the look of it, I like the feel of it, I like the way it runs, everything's good about that. So I don't have a problem with this, obviously. Now, we come to these, the one that comes in the kit, the one that comes in here, these two are good because they fit on the pump very well, and they fit right in, and you can pump them up and they're ready to go, and you can pump them up to ever how much you need. That's good. This one that I bought separate, I like it, but the problem is, if you can, let me come around. If you can see this, there's two different sizes of the spout that the pump's supposed to go on. And this one works really well. This one is a balancing act you have to do to hold it on there. There's a little cap that goes on here, which fell off, and I don't have it right now. I don't see it. But anyway, there's a little cap on here that you're supposed to put this on here, loosen that up, tighten it down, and then manually do this to pump it up. The pump, I don't like the pump at all. I don't like the fact that this and this aren't the same size. This works. This is a balancing act, and I don't like that. And the pump seems cheap. It does work, but it gives out very little air. I mean, you can pull away back here, and you really don't get any air to here, so you just get that. And I understand that there's not a lot of air that's supposed to go in these to make them functional, and you don't want to blow them up. But, you know, at least make this fit this. I mean, it's your own system. Come on, do it right. So that's my only complaint about those. And as far as the sandpaper that you get with these are okay, that you can see where they start pulling apart here. That's just wearing out, I guess, and maybe that happens to everybody's sandpaper that makes these things. But this, I don't like this one, because if you can see the overlap here, the way it's made, these fold under, and as you're sanding, what they'll do is they'll come out like this. Now you got something that's catching on your wood, and you know, you can put them back. You know, I don't have a problem with the fact that you can put them back, but the problem is if they come out to start with, and it stops you, slows you down, whatever. But they do hold together well down here. It's just this flap that goes under that comes out when you're using it. Don't care for that. But, you know, you can work. It's a workaround item. So this thing, like I said, works real well. It is large, so you're not going to use this on fine pieces or anything. And if you're a bowl, if you're a turner and you turn bowls, I would think this would be great. I'm not a turner, but to get in and smooth out the inside of those bowls, hard to reach maybe places, I think that'd be great. I can't think of anything else other than the fact that yes, I like it. I don't like this. I wouldn't buy all of them at once. Start off with the basics, this thing, this, and this. Build that as you need it. I wish I could trade those in on more sandpaper even. That's not going to happen. So I don't know what else to say as far as a review. I guess I've said about all I wanted to. Although, okay, one thing about these, and again, I don't know what others are out there. I wish there was some way that both of these didn't have to turn at the same time. I think it's just the way it is. It's like a grinder where you have the two things going all the time. But I wish I could shut this off, because like I say, when I'm sanding anyway, I get kind of focused in on it and I don't pay attention to this, and this kind of stuff happens. either if I'm using that, or I can touch it, run up against it a little bit or whatever. And I don't care for that, but I don't know that there's anything any better than that. And if I pay attention, it's not a problem. But I don't always pay attention. So all I can say is I like it. The cost, I haven't had any problems with the motor, but I haven't used it a great deal. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up the two projects that I've done with it. One I have here, well, I have them both here actually. But when I bought it, this is what I was working on at that time. And this helped a lot as far as shaping down in the large parts of the wings here and here, you know, to cup that out a little bit. That worked real well for that. And everything else, you know, once I got this, I didn't use any other sander. This was always my go-to sander at that point for everything, for all the rounding over. But like I said, I got this halfway through. So some of this is done with this, some of it is done with a spindle sander and whatnot. So I did use it on that one, and I use it on this one, which you can't see. This is the present for my wife, and I had to make a box to put it in because I didn't have any present for Christmas. So this is late October now, so it's got to stay in the box because it's a nailed together box. And I'm not going to open it and then put it back together. May break it. But what I will do is I will put a picture. Wait a minute. Now, if my wife is watching this, turn away. Now, I don't think she is. I don't think she ever watches these. But this would be the one time. If it's pre-Christmas, I'm talking to my wife now only. Look away, hum, or whatever. I'm going to put a picture right here. And now we're back, and you can look again if you're watching. And that's to my wife. So the one that's in the box and this one are the two things. And the one in the box, I didn't use anything but this on it, and it worked very, very well. So overall, I would give this a from 1 to 5. I would give it definitely a 4.5 for me and my uses, because I have not gone back to anything else other than this. It doesn't eliminate hand sanding, but it helps on the rounding, and you know, it's useful, very useful. It sped things up, and it did things, I think, better because of this softness that the way this sponge thing works. You can kind of push the wood into it and get a nice curve on it. So anyway, that's it. So thanks for watching. I don't know what else I can say about it. I wish I'd used some of these other things so I could have done a full review of every part of it. But I'm not very technical. It's 115 volt, 60 hertz. No load speed, 3600 RPM. I don't know, whatever. I think I went over some of that in the unboxing. So it's a good thing. It's 4.5 out of 5, or 9 out of 10, or whatever way you want to look at it. I would definitely buy it again. I love it. I just have to make a stand that works for me with it. Maybe that'll be a project, who knows. So, I hope you found some little thing in this that is helpful. I can't think of anything else I wanted to cover, so I guess we'll just say bye, and I hope you get something out of this. Thanks.